Africa Global Radio.
Okay, bank on it, he calls it, Burner Boy. Beautiful piece of music off the Grammy winning album Twice a Stall. Yeah, my favorite, undoubtedly. I can play this song 365 days in a year, obviously. That's the truth, man. I am Barry. You're welcome. This is still the Africa Daily Show on Africa Global Radio. Miley is on standby to give you the good news for today. Sometimes I feel like good news, get ready to receive the gospel. That's how they say, hey, there's a good news, so it's the second coming of Christ and all of that. But this is the good news on the progressiveness, the amazing narratives taking place across the length and breadth of the continent of Africa, and of course in the spaces of global Africans. And that's what's happening right about now. Miley's going to be giving you that in a bit.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news! Our good news stories for today are the launch of the Reflection Initiative for the Protection of Museums in Burkina Faso and Mali, and the Africa Development Bank announces $10 billion to support food sovereignty in Africa. The International Council of Museums is organizing from 24th to 31st January 2023 at the National Museum in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, a workshop to strengthen the security of museums in the Sahel region and to fight against the illicit trafficking of cultural property. Like other museums in Africa, those in Mali and Burkina Faso have been facing for almost 10 years an unprecedented multi-dimensional crisis causing damage to cultural property. Faced with such a situation, experts from 22 museums in Mali and Burkina Faso have decided to strengthen their capacities, particularly in terms of security, documentation, inventories, and management of reserves. Support were received by the Minister of Communication, Arts and Tourism, Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo. According to him, this meeting is a real opportunity for the two brother countries to rethink and strengthen security within these temples filled with ancestral treasures. He invited all cultural heritage stakeholders to make this project the start of a major reflection for a reform of this sector, taking into account the challenges of the moment. While paying tribute to the valiant ancestors who sacrificed themselves to bequeath these cardinal values of combativeness and creativity, Jean-Emmanuel indicated that the holding of these face-to-face workshops is proof of the population's unfailing resilience in the face of difficulties and adversity. He conveyed his gratitude and that of the government to the ICOM Secretariat for its unwavering commitment to museums and the Aleph Foundation for financing this integrating project. For the Director General of the National Museum, Rasmata Maiga, this meeting, which brings together professionals and experts, is a guarantee that the challenges of preserving the tangible and intangible heritage of ethnocultural groups will be met in order to give new impetus to the participation of museums in the socio-economic and cultural development of different countries. The project, entitled Strengthening the Security of Museums in the Sahel Region and the Fight Against Illicit Trafficking of Cultural Property, the case of 22 museums in Mali and Burkina Faso, which lasted 1 year, will enable the various museums selected to benefit from material support to secure their premises, but also support in the preparation of an adapted and specific emergency plan. On to the next story. The African Development Bank has, through the voice of its president, Akinwumi Adesina, committed yesterday in Dakar to finance up to $10 billion agricultural development and food sovereignty of the African continent. Speaking at the second Dakar Forum on Food Sovereignty and Resilience, Akinwumi Adesina clarified that this funding will revolve around direct support in the delivery of agricultural and food inputs. He recalled that 65% of the world's arable land is in Africa, while regretting the continent's dependence on imports and the fact that millions of Africans go to bed hungry. It is necessary, according to him, to pass from the short-term to the long-term productions to secure African agriculture. To move towards decisive actions, Akinwumi Adesina, a former Nigerian Minister of Agriculture, stressed that technology alone was not enough and that road infrastructure, favorable policies and financing were also needed. Agriculture must become Africa's new oil, he said, emphasizing in particular the need to unlock Africa's agricultural production potential. That's it for Good News with Miley. Have an amazing day.
Okay, thank you very much, Miley, for the good news for today. It's the Africa Daily Show on Africa Global Radio. For more Mondays to Fridays at 1 p.m., get to listen to more good news on africaglobalradio.com. And the show is Africa Daily. I am Barry. We continue, but in the meantime, just take your time to also visit our social media spaces, Africa Global Radio on Facebook, AF Global Radio, on Twitter and Instagram. You can also check us out on LinkedIn. More content, more business opportunities, more partnerships that we can actually establish. That's a platform we can get that on. You can also engage us on +233 207064 680 wherever you find yourself across the continent, or if you are in the diaspora. Let's continue with the song. This is a beautiful back record by Medical, features Sarkodie. One of my favorite back in the days when he started getting into the game really hard. This is Confirm Remix.
Forget everybody.
I love Africa Global Radio.
Put me D, mommy.